Friends, have you ever wondered what our world would look like if a third world war really broke out one day? Today's story will answer that question for you. So let's begin with America, where there is nothing but devastation all around because the Third World War has already ended. Russia has won it, but all other countries, including America, have lost everything. The ash falling from the sky makes it seem like only a few people are still alive, or perhaps not even them, because radiation has spread everywhere. We can see its effects even on a cat whose fur has completely fallen out, and like humans, it has also turned carnivorous. To satisfy its hunger, it is feeding on human flesh. But then, an arrow strikes it from somewhere, killing it instantly. This arrow was shot by Elie, who might be one of the last survivors in this world. However, he has covered himself completely because he knows the dangers of radiation. After the cat dies, he takes it with him. Here, with every step he takes, we witness the destruction of this world, all caused by a few leaders. Silence surrounds everything. There are no humans, no voices. Meanwhile, Elie spots a car. When he opens its door, he finds that the driver has turned into a mere skull, which disturbs him. The driver must have been going somewhere, but succumbed to hunger and thirst. After walking a little further, he sees a house in slightly better condition. He enters it, but a foul smell leads him to a hanging corpse. Perhaps it was the owner of the house, who had taken his own life. Elie really liked the man's shoes, so he took them off and wore them himself. Then he cooked and ate the cat, cleaned his gun, freshened up, and comfortably started listening to music through his headphones. But when morning came, he saw that his headphones had run out of battery. No matter, he set off on his journey again, though this was nothing new for him, as it was something he did every day. A lone man has no other choice. After walking some distance, he came across a helpless woman begging for his help, but Elie knew it was a trap. There were others hiding nearby, so he told them to come out. He was well aware of their tricks. Hearing this, they all emerged, and their leader approached Elie, saying, "Hand over everything you have, or things will get ugly." He then gave Elie a slight shove, to which Elie calmly replied, "If you do that again, you'll lose your hand." But the leader was stubborn and shoved him once more, and Elie? He wasn't one to back down. He sliced the man's hand clean off. Seeing this, the other cannibals attacked him, but here we truly saw Elie's skills and understood why he had survived so long among these savages. He killed them all and continued on his way unfazed. Further ahead, he spotted some men harassing a couple, but Elie reminded himself that it wasn't his problem. He had to keep moving. His journey was still long. Slowly, he made his way through the desolate roads until he finally reached a town. There, the people stared at Elie as if he had come from another world. In truth, they couldn't believe anyone had survived outside their town. They had always assumed they were the last ones left. Meanwhile, when he entered a shop, the shopkeeper pointed a gun at him, but Elie calmly explained that he wasn't there to cause any trouble. However, the shopkeeper still refused to lower his weapon. In one swift move, Elie disarmed him, snatched the gun, and then handed it right back. He just wanted to prove that if he had wanted to kill him, he could have done so already. But he was only there to charge his battery. Hearing this, the shopkeeper asked, "What do I get in return?" Elie handed him some tissue paper and a packet of sauce. Satisfied, the shopkeeper agreed. Just then, Elie noticed some bikers outside, the same men he had seen harassing the couple the day before. They had actually come to deliver some books to their boss, but the one book he was searching for wasn't among them. As unbelievable as it may sound to you, it was just as surprising to us. He hands her a small bottle of shampoo, and her face lights up with joy. She's told she can go to the bar and have a drink. No one will stop her. Meanwhile, we see Elie. He's in the same bar, trading his gloves and lighter for water. Seeing this, the bar owner, a woman named Sahara, sends someone to fetch water for him. Just then, a cat starts walking over Elie's belongings, so he nudges it away. The bar owner doesn't like this. When Elie gets a good look at the man, he recognizes him. He's the same person who's been killing innocent people. So Elie tells him he doesn't want any trouble. But the man is in a fighting mood. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, Elie takes him down, along with his entire crew. Solara is stunned, watching in disbelief at how easily he wiped them all out. But the boss sends his men to capture Elie and orders them to bring him in. Truth is, he's impressed by Eli's skills, so he makes him an offer. I have everything now, food, water, shelter, but I want to expand my town, and for that, I need people like you, so join me. But Elie refuses outright. He's no thug. Hearing this, the boss gives him one night to reconsider, because he's not about to let him walk away that easily. When Elie entered the room, a woman named Marlena followed him inside. She was blind and had actually come to bring him food and water. Elie asked her how long she had been blind, to which she replied, since childhood. Elie treated her with respect, which made her incredibly happy. No one had ever shown her such dignity here. She went and told the boss, I don't think he'll work for you. There's not an ounce of greed in him. But the boss replied, oh, he'll work, because now I'm sending Solara to him. Hearing this, Marlena fell to her knees, begging, because Solara was her daughter. She didn't want any harm to come to her, but the boss wasn't one to listen. He sent Solara anyway. When Solara arrived, she tried to seduce Elie, but he told her to leave. He needed to sleep. However, Solara pleaded desperately, saying she couldn't go back. If she returned empty-handed, they would beat her mother badly. So she begged him to let her just sleep on the floor, promising not to disturb him. Reluctantly, Elie agreed. But then she spotted a book near Elie, which she quickly hid. This immediately sparked her curiosity. What kind of book was it? Solara tried asking several times, but Elie refused to answer. She then asked other questions, like where these people got their water from. Solara said she'd answer his question, but only if he told her about the book first. Yet again, Elie stayed silent and sat down to eat. Before eating, he prayed to God, something that struck Solara as strange, because no one here ever did that. Was the book Elie had the Bible? If so, why wouldn't he share it with others? Before the destruction, it had been their holy book. But what had changed now? Suddenly, by morning, Solara is having breakfast with her mother when she tries to pray, but she doesn't quite know how to finish. The boss, Carnegie, realizes what's happening. Now he knows. The man has the book he's been searching for all this time. So he asks Solara, does he have a book? She denies it, but Carnegie is certain, and he starts hurting Solara's mother to force the truth out. Helpless, Solara finally admits, yes, he has a book, bound in leather with a cross on it. As soon as Carnegie heard this, he immediately sent his men to Eli's room, but Elie was already gone, having left to retrieve his battery from the shop. However, when he stepped outside, he was met by Carnegie's entire army, with Carnegie himself standing at the front. I know you have the Bible, Carnegie said. Give it to me. Let me use it to inspire hope in people, to mobilize them, to show them the way forward. But Elie knew the truth. Carnegie would twist the Bible's words, using fear to make people worship him instead of God. And friends, this is how tyrants control the desperate. When people have lost everything, you feed them lies and make yourself their god. That's why Elie refused. This enraged Carnegie. He ordered his men to attack. Gunfire erupted from all sides, but Elie didn't back down. He fought back, taking them down one by one. In the chaos, a bullet struck Carnegie's leg, forcing his men to drag him away. Richard now stood before Carnegie, urging him to let Elie go. He's a good man. He doesn't kill without reason, he argued. Elie left, but as he walked away, he heard a girl's voice calling from behind. It was Solara, begging to go with him. Her mother had told her she'd be safer with Elie. But he refused, and Solara made an offer. What if I show you where we get our water? Will you take me then? Elie agreed, and together they went to the town's water source, a place guarded by Carnegie's men. Elie eliminated the guards outside, entered, and gathered supplies. But in a final act of cunning, he locked Solara inside. He knew the journey ahead was too dangerous for her. This isn't your path, he told her before leaving. On the other hand, Carey was getting his treatment. He told his men to get ready, as they would now go after Elie. But Richard, who was his most trusted man, stopped him from doing so. Why was he unnecessarily chasing after a book? So Carrie replied, "Actually, this book can change the whole world." Then, Richard offered him a deal. If he caught Elie, Solara would be his forever, to which Carrie agreed. But by then, Solara had already escaped and was wandering alone on the desolate road. Suddenly, she spotted a woman calling for help. Solara approached her, but the woman warned, "Get away from here." Friends, this was a trap. Two men jumped out, grabbed Solara, and began assaulting her. Just then, Elie arrived, firing an arrow that went straight through one of the cannibals. In the end, Solara thanked him. However, after they left, Carnegie's men arrived at the scene and figured out which direction they were heading. On the other side, Elie and Solara both stopped to spend the night in one place. During this time, Elie was reading the same Bible, which made Solara ask, "Do you read this every day?" He replied, "Yes." Then she questioned, "Why are people so crazy about it?" Then Elie explained, "Actually, this war happened because some powerful people thought they were greater than God. They planted hatred in the hearts of people like us against all religions, and after that, everyone started killing each other. That's how all the countries turned against one another and brought the world to this state. I didn't do this because I believed the mistake was humanity's, not religion's. Everyone burned whatever holy books they had. The one I have is the last remaining copy, and I'm taking it north. I believe there will be people there who will revive this book and restore the world to how it was before." But meanwhile, Carnegie is advancing with his army because he doesn't want this Bible to fall into anyone else's hands. Both of them continue their journey. After traveling some distance, they come across a house in a completely deserted area. Maybe someone is there? But as soon as they reach its gate, they get caught in a net. Friends, in this city, people have set traps everywhere. This net was set by an elderly couple, but when they saw Solara, they pulled her up. When Elie saw the cemetery built behind their house, he realized that they were also man-eaters. So the two of them decided to leave. But by then, Carrie had already arrived there with his men. Seeing him, Elie asked the old man, "Do you have any weapons?" The old man then opened his sofa, which was filled with guns. They took them and got ready. Shortly after, the game of death began. Elie throws a book outside, but it turns out to be a bomb, causing a massive explosion. Then, Carrie's army starts firing blindly, and the old couple gets killed in the crossfire. Soon, they realized there was no escaping now, so they surrendered. When they came outside, Carrie said to Elie, "Give me that book." But even after all that had happened, Elie refused to hand it over because he knew what it would lead to. However, Carrie knew exactly what to do. He aimed his gun at Solara, forcing Elie to reluctantly give him the Bible. As soon as he got the book, Carrie shot Elie and left with Solara, knowing Elie was no longer of any use to him. But Solara refused to go with them. She killed the driver, causing the car to flip over. Then she spotted a grenade and threw it at another car carrying some of Carrie's men, killing them. Now they decided to head back home because they were out of fuel as well. Meanwhile, Solara escapes from their clutches and returns to the same house. But Elie isn't there. Had he gone somewhere else? Was he even still alive? Solara grows deeply worried. Then she remembers, he must have headed north. So she sets off in that direction. Eventually, she finds Elie. Without wasting a moment, she helps him into the car and speeds away toward the north. Back with Carrie, when he opens the Bible, he realizes it's locked. He immediately rushes to the same shopkeeper, who manages to unlock it, only for Carrie to discover it's a Bible for the blind, completely blank inside. His rage boils over as he realizes he's been fooled. Meanwhile, after a long journey, the two finally reached a place where there were actually people. The bridge to cross over was broken, so they took a boat instead. Upon arriving, a man asked them why they had come. Elie replied, "I have the Bible." Hearing this, the man invited them inside and said, "We have books from every religion here, enough to rebuild the world as it once was. The only thing missing was the Bible. Give it to me, and I'll make copies of it." Then, a shocking secret was revealed. Elie confessed that he had been blind since childhood, which came as a complete surprise. Yet for the past 30 years, he had read the Bible every single day, memorizing every single page. So he began reciting it word for word as the man carefully wrote it all down. Meanwhile, Carrie calls Marlena, hoping she can read the Bible for him, since she knew Braille. But Marlena tells him she had forgotten the language long ago. Realizing this, Carrie abandons all hope that anyone will follow him now. His fears are confirmed mere seconds later when he looks down and sees the entire town looting his house. All his men are already dead. Carrie understands that now it's his turn. But there was one more person counting his last breaths, our hero, Elie. Until his final moment, he kept reciting every word of the Bible, ensuring a new copy could finally be made. Now they printed it and placed it alongside other sacred texts, like the Holy Quran. This meant they now had everything they needed for a fresh beginning. But remember, religion should always be followed with moderation. If you take it to extremes, it will poison you from within, just as this story has shown. Elie took his last breath, while Solara set out once again, this time to bring back her mother. But she wasn't alone this time. She carried the Word of God, the Bible, with her. And here this story comes to an end. We truly understand God's real meaning only when we're left helpless in the face of everything. People can easily be fooled in the name of religion, just as Carrie wanted to do, but we must not fall into such traps. Friends, how did you like this story? Be sure to tell us in the comments. See you in the next video.